The actual reality that the Buddha generally referred to as Nibbana was mentioned in his first sermon called Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta as Dukkha Nirodha, meaning the end of thinking that creates the imaginary mental world, the illusory mental world in our mind that we experience as our world. In the Rohita Sutta, he said, the entire world that we experience is within us, not outside us. Because all our sensory organs that experience the world outside cannot experience the reality of the world outside, because their capacity is limited. Therefore, with the faulty information supplied by our sensory organs, our mind creates the world that we experience. And that world is not the actual reality, but an illusion. Because it is empty of any substance that can be grasped by senses. This idea is said Sunyato Animito. Sunyato means empty. Animito means no object that can be grasped by mind. This statement of Buddha is found in the Arahanta Vagga of Kuddaka Nikaya at page 44. And the actual reality that the Buddha realized at his enlightenment, as I mentioned earlier, is generally referred to as Nibbana. Nibbana means not bound to anything. Bana means bondage. Freedom from all bondages. Not bound, becoming independent. Not dependent on. And that state is described in the Ajata Sutta defining Nibbana. You get the Ajata Sutta in the Kuddaka Nikaya at page 366. There the Buddha defined Nibbana as Ajatang, Abhutang, Akatang, Asankatang. The final reality, the actual reality, the original and the final reality. It's Ajatang, it's not born. Abhutang, it's not manifested. Akatang, it is not done. Asankatang, not composed of anything. That means the complete emptiness. But that is the ultimate reality. The practical, the conventional reality is what we experience through our sense organs and reflected in our mind, the mental screen. In the Kevada Sutta, the discourse is found in the first volume of Digha Nikaya. It starts at page 484 and ends with an stanza, Pali stanza, found in page 538. There the Buddha says, Etta namancha rupancha asesam uparujyati. The Nibbana is free from mind and matter. Rupa means the body, the physical body, the physical entity. Nama means our mind, the mental world. there is no physical world or there is no mental world in Nibbana. The material world that we experience through our sense organs is made of four major events of the universal energy. The behavior of the universal, the fourfold major behavior of the universal energy. And that fourfold aspect of the behavior is absent in the Nirvana, the final entity. Those fourfold activities are called Chatu Mahabhuta, main activities. In that sutta of Kevada Sutta, Buddha says, Etta apocha patavicha tejo vayo nagadati, the fourfold. Patavi, apo, tejo, vayo are the fourfold activities of the universal energy. Patavi means getting pressed, maybe two items or two forces pressing into each other. It's called, that activity is called Patavi Bhuta. Once things or forces are pressed together, there is a binding energy that is called Apo. Apo means binding energy. Patavi means Jan Tadda Lakkanan Tam Patavi, pressing each other. Apo. Yang Abandhan Lakkanan Tam Apo. That is how these activities are defined by the Buddha. Once the two elements or two forces are bound to each other, pressed to each other and get bound to each other, a heat is produced. Electricity is produced, electro-heat. Because material things are made of atoms and around every atom there are electrons, electricity. They get charged and electro power is produced by pressing each other and getting bound to each other and produces electricity. Wherever electricity is produced in this world, electricity turns into magnetism. That is called electromagnetism. Magnetism is the power of, according to Vayamatiti, Vayu, that is called Vayu Bhuta, that is movement, vibration, it's called Vayu, and that is caused by the Teju Dhatu, Paripatan Lakkana. Now, for example, even when water is heated, it starts moving. Something is heated, then it turns things into a gas. Gas starts moving, motion. Motion is the basic or the main activity of everything that is material. And that is called samsara or samsara in Buddha's language, motion. However, as things are in motion, they get changed. And motions are in vibrations. Vibrations get formed into waves, thought waves, light waves, sound waves, etc. A wave is rising up and coming down, a force. That is called Uppada Titi Bhanga. Rising of a wave is called Uppada. Cessation of that rising, come to a particular point at the apex, is called Titi. But this Titi or the word means stands, it doesn't stand, it moves down. A wave goes up and immediately moves down, and that is called Bhanga. Every thought is made of 17 sparks according to Buddha's definition in his Abhidhamma, the deeper teachings of Buddha. Shenabangura means getting destroyed instantly. Whatever, everything is in spark. A thought is made of 17 such sparks, as I mentioned earlier. Therefore, no thought can get hold of anything or get rid of anything, because birth and death happens instantly and immediately, retaining nothing for grasping or for dispelling. Once this reality is understood, the attachment called raga and the resentment called dosa in our mind vanish. And the mind becomes vitaragi, vitadosi, and that's an enlightened mind. Enlightened means seeing the reality. Seeing the reality hidden in the darkness of ignorance. One becomes a wiser person, a Buddha, wise one. Buddha is called a wise one. We become wise when you see the reality. When you see the reality, there is no attachment, there is no resentment. Only there is awareness. Awareness of sensation. Because our body is made of sensory organs. Sati means becoming aware of sensation. In this awareness, one realizes everything is in a spark. Everything is in a wave. Everything is appearing and disappearing instantly. There is birth and death instantly. There is, for one realizes there is no point in getting attached to anything or resenting anything. That is the mentality of an enlightened mind. And realizing the actual reality of things and beings. But in the practical sense, in the conventional sense, there are material things and beings. But the actual reality, Paramattha, Sammutyattha, the practical reality, the conventional reality is one thing. The actual reality is there is nothing. Everything is empty. Empty of all aspects that can be grasped by our sensory organs. That is why in the Nibbana, Sunyo lokoti buchyati. Even our world, material world is sunya, empty. And as I mentioned earlier, there is no mind or matter in the Kevada Sutta. Etta namanta rupanta asesam parijjati in the stanza, it says. The actual reality is free of mind and matter, body and mind. That means complete emptiness. That is the actual reality, the original reality and the ultimate reality that one experiences when one is enlightened, seeing the reality of things and beings. This happens within us, not outside us. Enlightenment is an incident within us, realization of the reality. Actual reality is nothingness. But the practical reality is available of things and beings. But behind that, there is then emptiness. The space is empty. The time is empty. Time is only a concept. Space is also only a concept. Concept means there is no reality, actual reality called space or actual reality called time. They are only conceived by the mind. This is the ultimate reality that one would realize at enlightenment.